Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we honor former mayor of East Brunswick and state senator Jack Sinagra, who passed away Monday at the age of 63. Barbara Reese visits Lenape Park in the Windsong neighborhood as she continues her tour of the East Brunswick park system. Then we head to the Zimmerli Art Museum in New Brunswick to take a look at a special exhibit running through September. And the New Jersey Film Festival is gearing up for the fall lineup as Al Nygren speaks to filmmaker John McKelvey about his documentary Rappin' Reno. All this plus a look at a recent meeting between the New Jersey Turnpike Authority and residents of the Lawrence Brook Manor neighborhood over the construction project on Exit 9. So stay with us.
Former East Brunswick Mayor, New Jersey State Senator, and Port Authority of New Jersey and New York Chairman Jack Sinagra passed away on Monday, August 26th, of an undisclosed illness. He served as mayor of East Brunswick from 1989 until December of '91, when he left before his term was up after running and winning a seat in the state Senate.
But one of my real goals is to improve basic services. I thought some of the things that are basic to people's way of life, whether it's snow removal, leaf collection, the cleanliness of the town, these were things that in police protection, these were things that I definitely wanted to put an emphasis in.
I want to reiterate my long-standing objection to the continued operation of Edgeboro landfill. I have always believed it was and is in the wrong place. You just don't build a landfill on wetlands, and that is the inherent problem with Edgeboro. However, from a very practical point of view, there is nothing further that East Brunswick can do to stop the operation of Edgeboro. Therefore, our goal must be to make sure that every step is taken to preserve the environment, both from the effects of the prior landfill operation and the future operation. The only way we will effectively have any chance of seeing Edgeboro close is by insisting that it be a safe operation.
What's it like being mayor of East Brunswick?
It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of fun things I do. I get to marry people. I get to, yes I do, I perform wedding ceremonies. I get to run the town, make sure that it's a safe place, make sure that there's parks for our kids to play in and safe things to do.
Last week, East Brunswick Mayor Jack Sinagra was elected state senator in the 18th District. This week, he announces that he'll be stepping down as mayor in December. We caught up with Mayor Sinagra to talk about his new role.
Tell me, how did you feel when you realized that you were the winning candidate?
Well, we were kind of in shock. My wife and I went from our local polling booth and took the results off our machine. We went to the local headquarters, and we were en route to Edison, where the major headquarters were for the whole county. And my car phone rang, and it was my campaign manager, and it was 9 o'clock. She says, "You won." I said, "What do you mean we won?" She says, "Harry already called and conceded." So there was no, we thought we'd have to wait a while before we knew what the results would be. So I found out I guess I was on Route 1 when I found out.
On Monday night before the regularly scheduled Township Council meeting, Township officials and residents gathered to unveil the portrait of former Mayor Jack Sinagra. Jack Sinagra, who is now a state senator for District 18, was East Brunswick's mayor from January 1989 to December 1991. His portrait was unveiled by Mayor Ira Oskowski with Township councilmen and Sinagra's family present.
Major accomplishments over that term were the norm during his term as mayor. Jack was aggressive in keeping the tax rate stable during his term, with a strong fiscal policy which will be followed for many years to come in East Brunswick. As mayor, he was the impetus behind the cigarette vending machine ordinance, because he strongly opposed the accessibility of cigarettes to minors through vending machines. Jack was a leader in bringing our two baseball groups together, something that nobody ever believed would happen. The East Brunswick Little League and the East Brunswick Baseball Managers Association are now one entity working together to serve the youth of our community by providing an improved and organized baseball program. Jack was also instrumental in formation of the Human Relations Council. The council's charge was, and still is, to foster goodwill, cooperation, and conciliation among the groups and elements of the inhabitants of our community. The residents of East Brunswick thank Jack for his service to our community and wish him continued success in his service to all the residents of the 18th District as our state senator. Jack, thank you very much.
You know, this is a community that I picked to raise my children. Eileen and I have been blessed with having 3 children. They're all going to school here. We grow up here, we play here, we live here. And we want to make this a better community, not for our children, but for the entire community.
My name is Marilyn Sims. I'm curator of prints and drawings at the Zimmerli Art Museum at Rutgers University. And we're in the gallery featuring the exhibition called Stars, Contemporary Prints by Derriere L'Etoile Studio. This exhibition features the prints by such artists as Keith Haring, Elizabeth Murray, Jeff Koons, John Baldessari, Robert Longo. And these are works that were created in the 1980s and were their first prints that helped establish their reputations and helped establish their fame and importance in the American art world since 1980. Derriere L'Etoile is a printmaking studio founded by Maurice Sanchez in New York in 1978. He called it by the French term Derriere L'Etoile to signify that he is the printer, the technical team of support behind the artist. Derriere L'Etoile translates behind the star. And in this exhibition, he worked with Elizabeth Murray, who was known as a painter, was a little bit reluctant about making prints, but then became excited about exploring abstraction in a wonderful series of 5-part series of prints, Untitled, which shows a progression of an abstract curvilinear form into an S form. In this exhibition, there is one of the first prints that was done by Keith Haring, who was known as literally an underground artist doing graffiti art in New York subways. He started to make prints in 1982 so that he had an art form to sell and support his career, since what he was doing is subway art was really illegal defacing of property. But he soon became a celebrity artist, championing various social causes and increasing public awareness. And he adapted cartoon-style art in a very innovative way. This exhibition also features the work of Robert Longo, who adapted photography and figurative art into his distinctive eye-catching exploration of contemporary people expressing rage or love or just sort of corporate lifestyles. Another important artist in this exhibition is Barbara Kruger, who was born in Newark, New Jersey, and she went on to become a major artist based in New York City of international renown. She boldly pairs photographic imagery with words and slogans that prompt thought and dialogue with the viewer on political issues, social issues, aspects of feminism, aspects of identity, or even raising awareness and critical thought about consumerism. Another artist in the exhibition is Jeff Koons, featured with his first prints based on photographic imagery. He updated pop art by exploring further and probing further popular culture, issues of consumerism, mass media. His image shows a stainless steel train, which was actually based on a container of whiskey that he saw, and he readapted, appropriated the imagery, and made it into a work of art for his exploration of the themes that he called luxury and degradation. He also created some amusing ads for art magazines that promoted his art exhibition. One of them shows school children, kindergartners, being indoctrinated in his message of art, which is about banality and the more mundane aspects of consumer culture. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and he is known as sort of the naughty artist a lot of the time. He pokes fun at society and provokes comment deliberately in the art scene with his choice of subject matter. Another artist in the show is Sherry Levine, who makes us question issues of authorship, originality, and reproduction. She deliberately used reproductions of two paintings by Edgar Degas, the famous French Impressionist artist, and presented the reproductions as her own work of art. And so she is commenting on the fact that we learn a lot about art or about aspects of the world from photographic reproductions, but on the other hand, for her to show images of artwork by an important Impressionist painter show that she's also tweaking the notion of originality. So we hope that you will come to visit the Zimmerli Art Museum several times throughout the year to see Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 of the exhibition Stars Contemporary Prints by Derriere L'Etoile Studio. The Zimmerli Art Museum website is www.zimmerlimuseum.rutgers.edu, and the telephone number is 848-932-7237. The Zimmerli Art Museum is located at 71 Hamilton Street, right at the corner of George Street in New Brunswick. Thank you again for watching, and we hope that you will enjoy your visit to the Zimmerli Art Museum.
Hello everyone, it's Al Nygren from the New Jersey Film Festival, back with a series of filmmaker interviews for the Fall 2013 New Jersey Film Festival, which is in its 32nd annual presentation. And we have a wonderful lineup of films. We have 29 finalists from around the world who are competing for Best of prizes. We also have a Best of the Summer Film Festival screenings for those of you who are not around and want to check out the winners of our film festival, the International Film Festival from over the summer. You can do that in October. We also have a free screening on November 15th. That's going to be taking place at Rutgers University. All of our films take place at Rutgers University in New Brunswick. General admission is $10, students and seniors $9, and if you're a Film Co-op friend, you get in for $8. Plus, a lot of the screenings will be having free food courtesy of Jimmy John's of New Brunswick. Today, we have a young filmmaker here, John McKelvey, and he's made a really wonderful and very interesting documentary called Rap in Reno. Hello, John. Welcome.
Hi.
Tell us a little bit about this film.
It's a documentary, and it's my first real documentary. I once, a long time ago, made a mockumentary, but this is my first authentic one. It focuses on both entertainment and history. It's about the very real story of two really dynamic women in American history, Anquiette, who's a Miami-based rapper, and of course Janet Reno, the former state's attorney general, mostly before she was the state's attorney general. Their lives had a very unusual kind of crossing.
I thought that's what, when we saw this film, I was part of the jury that saw your film, the pre-screening jury, and we thought it was very unique, very well-crafted, and thought that I'd never heard about this stuff. I grew up during that time period. I knew a little bit about it,
right?
But I think you really filled in the holes for me.
It is in some ways pretty obscure, and yet especially obviously Janet Reno is very famous, so it's not like trivia. It's actually some very interesting kind of compelling stories. One thing I do besides sort of my interest in filmmaking is hip hop journalism. So this is easily my area of expertise. So it was really a natural decision to kind of merge the two things together. And so I sort of knew a lot of information that's not really so publicly out there, and yet is a very kind of compelling story.
Did you have rights issues with getting permission to use some of the footage that you have?
Not so much. I mean, it's by and large, it's all fair use because it's a documentary about the subjects as opposed to a fiction film using some of the music or anything like that. So that really covers most of it. There were one or two things I was sort of on the fence about using, which I ultimately didn't use exactly for that reason. But so this film, as it is pretty secure.
I mean, two diametrically opposite type of people in this film. I mean, Janet Reno, well-established Secretary of State for Bill Clinton, who then suffered from Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, and who would, objectively from the outside would seem very disparate, and you think, well, what could they possibly have in common? But actually, I think you find through the film that their lives connect more than once, and they actually have a lot of things in common. From Janet Reno actually has some more surprising ties to the music industry that people wouldn't know about. People wouldn't know that, her interest in justice actually very much coincided with Ann Quiette's interest in justice. In fact, that's what the song's sort of about.
Yeah. How long did it take you to put this together?
A long time, mostly because as is a documentary, this was something I wanted to do. I sort of say it's an experimental film. It's not an experimental film, but it was for me because I hadn't made a film like this. And I want something that I could really do. When you're working with actors and crew and all, there's really a lot of obligation to get it out there and have a lot of success. You can't really just sort of film a big movie for like a year. Everybody's putting in their time and effort and then just sort of say, well, nothing really happened with it. So I wanted something that I could just sort of work on the side. So it took a long time, but because I was just sort of really doing it slowly and casually. And then when I saw that the New Jersey Film Festival was coming up, I'm like, I'm right near the end. I'm just going to pound out the end and get it right in for the deadline.
We're really glad you did because, again, I think the jury found the film entertaining, insightful at the same time. And actually, you were a participant in one of our other festivals, too.
Yes, way back in the day. The mockumentary I mentioned, Lunch Break, was I think it was 2005.
Wow.
And I got an honorable mention in that, too. So,
that's great. That's great. Well, John McKelvey is one of many of the filmmakers that we'll have at the New Jersey Film Festival. His film will be taking place on Sunday, September 8th, in Voorhees Hall, room 105, our state-of-the-art facility. It seats about 265 people, high-definition projection, cushy chairs, stadium seating, all the amenities that you would have at the multiplex without the obnoxious individual sitting next to you. Yes. We have a really nice crowd. So come and join us. If you'd like more information, you go to our website at njfilmfest.com, all one word, njfilmfest.com. Click on where it says schedule for the New Jersey Film Festival Fall 2013 season. Work your way all the way down for general information. There's free parking. The university lots are open. And again, we'll have free food courtesy of Jimmy John's. Plus, you'll get the chance to meet actually 3 wonderful filmmakers that evening. John will be there. Yep. The film that we'll be screening with it is also very interesting. It's called Killer B3. It stars, well, it doesn't star, it's directed by Merv Seymour and John Bamford. They're coming up from Clearwater, Florida. Their documentary is about the Hammond organ. And if you've ever seen any rock shows or blues shows or you've gone to a gospel church, the Hammond organ is a mainstay. And it's one of the most insightful music documentaries I've ever seen. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, come on, join us on Sunday, September 8th at Rutgers University. More information at njfilmfest.com, or you can always call us at our home base on our hotline at 848-932-8482. Thanks so much for coming, John.
Thanks.
The New Jersey Turnpike Authority held a meeting with residents of the Lawrence Brook Manor neighborhood to address concerns over the Exit 9 expansion project. Turnpike officials say Exit 9 is in need of improvements to deal with heavy traffic entering and exiting at the toll plaza. The expansion project includes widening the ramp that connects Route 18 South and the Turnpike to 2 lanes and improving the exit ramp merging onto Route 18 North. Residents are concerned about property values and the impact to their quality of life. Increased noise levels have caused some residents to call for a sound barrier to be built.
I'm in support of the wall. I'm in support of the wall for sound. I'm in support of the wall to maintain the beautiful neighborhood that we have for privacy, for safety of our children. I have a toddler who was in here before. You can see he can barely keep him contained. And as he gets older and he's riding around on a bike with his friends, I don't have to be scared that if he goes through a couple of evergreens, that he's able to fall right into the pit that is the ramp. I'm worried about him having sound damage that could be lifelong and permanent.
There is not unanimity on this wall. I know that you guys know that, but I want the director to know that. All three of us, from the beginning, have been against the sound wall because it's going to be located at the base of my driveway. And frankly, I don't want a 20-foot wall at the bottom of my driveway.
There's options, and as a community, we need to decide, we'll get a little bit more soundproofing and we'll give this up. It's got to be a give and take.
Members of the Township Council and the mayor were also on hand.
And I'm glad to hear that we're moving towards a wall. Sounds like we're moving that way, and that's the goal that we want to achieve. So I offer my services to help you to be able to get there.
This meeting tonight that was set up by my office with the Turnpike Authority was, as I said earlier, to hear directly from you. I've tried my best to relay each and every one of your concerns to the Turnpike Authority, and they've done their best to try to react to what you're asking for. This is an ongoing project. I assured you, as I said during a recent council meeting, the work on Western Mills Road has stopped. It will not start until we know what our game plan is. And that's to the detriment, quite frankly, of the Turnpike Authority, because I know that they've got deadlines within their contract with their contractors, but they're working with you as a community to try to resolve your issues as fairly as they can.
And the mayor urges residents in the Lawrenceburg Manor to reach out to his office or the township engineer with concerns. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority will be performing exterior inspections of homes in the manor prior to the recommencement of work along Weston's Mill Road. If you would like your home to be inspected, send an email with your name, address, and phone number to the township engineer at gregpokolsky@eastbrunswick.org and to Mayor Stahl at mayor@eastbrunswick.org. A follow-up meeting has been scheduled to take place during the next Township Council meeting on Monday, September 9th. If you would like to see this meeting in its unedited entirety, it will be available as video on demand at www.ebtv3.org under the Council and Board of Ed playlist.
This is Barbara Reese, Robbie Reese, and Emily Reese reporting from Lenape Park here in the beautiful Windsong community in East Brunswick, New Jersey. This is a wonderful jewel in our park system. Some folks may not be aware of the beautiful facilities here. Could you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, Lenape Park has actually one of the largest playgrounds within the East Brunswick Park system. It also has a very nice walking path that folks in this side of town take advantage of. It has 2 tennis courts, a basketball court, picnic benches, and it also is adjacent to the South River, which some people like to meander towards the back of the park and take a peek at. So it's a nice park nestled in towards the south end of town.
And for those that are not familiar with the Windsong development, where is it in relation to Route 18?
It's actually, Lenape Park is the only park east of Old Bridge Turnpike within the park system. So it's off of River Road, and it is a nice park for the folks who live in the Windsong development and also the surrounding communities within the township.
And for those that have young kids, I noticed that the playground equipment is appropriate for a lot of different ages.
Yeah, as I said before, it's one of the largest playground areas that the township has within its park system. So it's made for kids of all ages to come down and enjoy it.
And how large is the park?
The park is about 8.3 acres. It was originally dedicated November 1st, 1998. So the park's about 15 years old. It's fairly new. The story behind the facility is that when the Windsong development was being built, it was partially funded by the developer, I believe, Kay Havanian at the time, and money was set aside and the property to develop a park. The park was named after the Lenape Indians, my understanding is, and information, the Lenape Indians were native to this community. That information was given to us by the East Brunswick Historical Society. So it's a nice homage to those people, and it's it's a fairly new park, and it's one of the many in the East Brunswick Park system that people can enjoy. We have many park systems within East Brunswick. I believe we have 17, and all of those are listed on our website, eastbrunswick.org. There's a lot to be offered in East Brunswick for a 24 square mile town. In my opinion, we offer a very diverse park system. The township has been very progressive in its recreation and parks offerings, and there's a lot to do and see in East Brunswick if you live here as a resident.
Well, thank you for all you and the Recreation Department and Parks Department do for East Brunswick.
Yeah, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming out to Lenape Park.
I like all the slides and the ladders.
They're pretty tall.
Yes.
And what did you like best, Emily?
I like that tunnel slide over there best.
So you like crawling through the tunnel and going down the slide?
Yes, and I like going up the slide.
What do you think of this playground compared to other playgrounds you've been on?
It's bigger.
It's bigger?
And there's more of them.
More things to do?
And it's fun.
Would you recommend this playground to other kids your age?
Yes.
Why, Emily? What's special about it?
Because there's lots of things to do and everyone might want to try it, and there's also things to explore.
This is Barbara Reese reporting for This Week in East Brunswick. Hope today you've enjoyed your tour of Lenape Park here in the lovely Windsong section of East Brunswick, and we hope to see you here again soon.
Tune in for a brand new episode of Sports Talk in September as Frank Knoppenberger sits down with 3 new coaches at East Brunswick High School.
First of all, on our far left here, we have Mr. Keith Lane, who was just appointed as the head girls basketball coach. And in the middle is a new face to East Brunswick, but certainly not to Middlesex County and athletics in Middlesex. That's Mr. Bob Molars, a graduate of Carteret High School. We want to say what you're about. We don't want to say. But he was a all-county, all-star athlete. As a matter of fact, Bob's in the Carteret Hall of Fame. Correct. And he's our new head football coach. And next is Mr. Mark Monteseschi. Mark's a graduate of '88, star basketball player on that Central Jersey team, and certainly the championship conference team way back then, and coach this year, right? You were an assistant coach. And Mark is our new head coach in boys basketball, and he took over for Coach Henning.
Sports Talk can be seen throughout September on Wednesdays at 5 and 9 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays at 12:30 p.m. It's also available now as video on demand at www.ebtv3.org. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching.